Zidane Danny, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Nerd Chat here on Electro Ninja's Lab. I am here with my fellow host,
I'm Dak.
and we are live! A live Nerd Chat. What a surprise. We don't do this that often. But it's Minecraft Live, and we are going to be discussing everything that is coming in the next few minutes. Or I guess the next few hours. Um, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, I think it's funny that it's like saying that uh, it's starting at 10, but it's I. We also know that they're doing a pre-show at 9:30, so yeah. I don't know why it's saying 10. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm assuming that they will probably be starting the pre-show soon. Um, yeah, everything looks right. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna be discussing everything that's gonna be happening at Minecraft Live. Um, so yeah. So let's see. So obviously they're gonna be talking about the Copper Age. Let me actually go ahead and get to that page on their wiki. Copper Age. Here we go. So they are adding a lot in the Copper Age, and I've already gotten to mess around with a lot of it using in live streams and all that jazz. Um, so how much do you know about the Copper Age, Jack? Because I know you have.
Not a lot.
Okay, so let me go through all of the additions that they're adding. So first off, they're adding copper bars, which are basically just iron bars but made out of copper. Copper chains, basically regular, just like chains, but copper. The copper chest and the copper golem, which both of those are you get them at the same time. Basically, you create the copper golem, and then boom, you have a copper chest. Um, and it's all with its functionality about sorting and all that jazz. Um, the copper golem can also turn into a statue if it oxidizes too much. There's also the copper lantern, the copper torch. Lightning rods are now able to oxidize. There is the shelf block, which is so fun. I am so excited for that. It's basically a display thing, but you can also use it to swap your entire freaking hotbar, so that's fun. Um, and then there is the addition of copper armor, um, including horse armor. There's copper nuggets, copper tools, and then there is the mannequin, which basically functions like a kind of like an armor stand, but it's weird. It's a very weird, complicated thing, and I'm not really too familiar with everything with it. But basically, you can set it up to look like any villager, or not any villager, but any player character. So
Interesting.
it
So it's just a
looks,
mannequin?
yeah, but it's called the mannequin. It's weird. No one knows why. Um, I personally, I think that it is set up for eventually adding a um, custom NPC type dealy bob. But I'm not certain. That's gonna take a long time to for that to get fully ironed out and stuff. Um, and then just for whatever reason, the end has a weird update where, for whatever reason, every now and again, it will flash purple. Um, just at random spots, and these have been called like end storms and end flashes, but very little information is known about them. So yeah, um, they also updated like some textures and stuff, but yeah, not too much with that. But yeah, that's all of the. There's a lot that's gonna be added in the Copper Age. Um, honestly, I was kind of expecting it to be more. Um, at this point, we're kind of expecting it to officially drop on Tuesday, is my guess, but it could be a little bit longer. But we're already in pre-releases, so most likely it'll be Tuesday that we'll be getting this officially. So yeah. Um, so yeah, what do you think?
I think that sounds interesting.
That all you have to say?
Well, I mean, I think we've been waiting for a use for copper for some time now, and it's like the easiest thing to find and been useless. So
Yeah,
I think maybe it's about time.
yeah. So one thing that I've actually said about this update is that um, before copper was pretty much just a decoration block, and granted you could use it for like a few extra things, like um, you could use it for the brush. I think you could use it for I think it was used for the spyglass, if I'm remembering correctly. And then I think that was, and then decoration blocks, and that's it. Um, but yeah, like you said, it's the most prevalent ore, which is insane. So I actually like looked over this, trying to figure out exactly if this is actually accurate, and so currently in my live stream world that I've done, I'm currently digging down to bedrock, and I've only gotten down like about 20ish blocks, and just so much copper, very little coal, very little, a little bit of lapis, and a little bit of iron. That's it. I haven't seen us. I haven't seen diamonds, obviously. I haven't seen gold. Um, but I'm like massive area, and there's just like all this copper, and it's insane how much there is. Um, and even with this update, even with it, I still have more copper than I know what to do with.
Fair.
So, yeah. Like, granted, I do think that I'm probably going to be using more and more of it, especially with, like, the copper lanterns, because I'd rather use copper lanterns, copper chains, and copper bars than using iron ones. And I probably will be
Fair.
using a lot of those. Um, lightning rods are always useful, especially if you've got a wooden structure. Or villagers or anything like that. But yeah, so much copper. It's insane. And well, granted that is good. I'm glad that it's going to be that they've added a lot more uses. I think they need to add more. Like, even though this is a lot and it's good that they're adding these, it's still, yeah, there's still a good chance that we're going to be needing a lot more. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. But yeah. So yeah, that's the Copper Age. And then as for what we can expect from, so they're probably going to be talking a lot about this. Maybe they'll talk a little bit about the what the Mannequin is going to be doing, some more stuff with the Copper Golem. I'm not sure. Like I said, they'll probably go over like every single thing that's going to be in this update during this live, because this is like their big chance to do to really go in depth with this stuff. But I also think that they're probably not going to have that be the main focus, because people have already been playing with this stuff. People have been seeing a lot of this stuff. So I think that we'll see that, obviously. But I think the main thing that we're going to be seeing, especially thanks to the leaks, the leaks and the official teasers, we're going to be seeing a new aquatic update. And
that would be cool.
It sounds cool from what we've seen. So, have you watched the videos I sent you? Or the video I sent you about? Okay. So, they've been doing these teasers for the past 2 days, where basically they have been showing a few various different things. Basically including the fact that for whatever reason, the player seems to need a pufferfish. For some reason, boats are no longer useful? Question mark? I don't know. and those were the two ones that we just got over the past few days. What exactly they mean, no one seems to no one seems to know. But yeah, it sounds like some aquatic update, and we are going to be we've also seen from like some of their other locations, such as Instagram, I think TikTok. I don't know. There's a few other spots. I don't know all of the different places because I don't. I've basically been getting a lot of this secondhand. But basically, they've shown things where the player has died. They didn't show the name of what killed them, but they showed that the player died underwater, was slain by something, and they had a pufferfish and a saddle. Which to me that screams that it's going to be something involving a hostile mob that you're able to tame. Or maybe it's two different mobs, one that's hostile, one that's not, and maybe you tame one and you kill the other one. I don't know. I don't know exact details with that. Which, granted, when it comes to the to water, especially, I feel like there needs to be a lot more life in there. And
I would agree with that.
We've talked extensively about this. Like, if we look at the mobs, let's see here. So for aquatic mobs, there is the axolotl, there is the cod, technically the frog, but I'm not going to count that. There's the glow squid, there is pufferfish, salmon, squids, tropical fish, and then drowned. Making sure, yeah. And then the two guardians. I think that's it. Yes, that's it. So that's about 10, and we can kind of cut that down by about 4. Because 4 of them are fish. 4 of them are the same, are just various types of fish. So, and turtles. Sorry, I forgot turtles. So 11, technically. There are 11 types of fish. There are 2 types of, there's 11 aquatic mobs. Technically 12 if we want to count frogs/tadpoles, but I don't know if we really want to count those. So, yeah. Comparatively, there's like way fewer, there's way more land mobs. There are fewer flying mobs. But yeah, for aquatic specifically, there's only 11. There's not very many hostile mobs. Really, it's just drowned and the two guardians, and that's it. So so there should be more hostile mobs. There should be more neutral mobs. I guess I forgot the dolphin. So yeah, whatever. You get my point. There's not many, but there are a few. There are a decent number. But also, a lot of these mobs, pretty much besides squids and fish, you hardly see any of these other mobs. Maybe if you're in the ocean, you'll see a few turtles. Maybe you'll see a dolphin every now and again. Drowned are pretty much everywhere. And then guardians you only see at their structure. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'd like to see more just mobs out there. And we had the update aquatic, which was it was a fantastic update, and it feels like that was so recently that I'm kind of surprised that they're doing an aquatic update. But when you actually think about it, it's actually been quite a while. So yeah. But yeah, so that's that. But yeah, I think that they should add a lot more life to it. One of the things that I've also said is that there should be something like the firefly bush, underwater, where it's not necessarily mobs, but it's something that is a block that you can move that will like generate something that some form of life. So I was like, so one of the things I was thinking
Ooh,
is
like a coral that generates krill.
exactly like a special type of that would be freaking amazing, and I don't know, various different mobs could be so interesting to play with. Honestly, I'm not super. That's one of the reasons why I really wanted to talk to you. Like, you know a lot more about aquatic life than I do, especially
This is true.
since you had like that huge amount of um, love of the aquatic for a long time. So I was wondering if you have any thoughts about like some different sea creatures that could be like similar to firefly bushes, but underwater. So you said krill. Do you have any other
Definitely
ideas?
krill. There could be. Let's see. Coral polyps.
Ooh,
That's always a good one.
mm.
Baby seahorses.
Oh, seahorses would be so cool.
Seahorses would be awesome.
So that, speaking of which, that's actually one of the things that people are saying are guessing at what could be the underwater mob that they're talking about is that it could be like a kelpie or something.
Huh.
Like they're saying seahorse, but my immediate thought is kelpie. Or it could also be like the water horse from that. Why am I forgetting the name? The plesiosaur. That could be fun.
Huh. Yeah, that could be fun.
I don't know exactly what they would do with that, but yeah, that's some of my thoughts. Um, but another aspect I want to like throw at you is so we just got the copper golem, right? Which was
Okay.
that was a failed that was a failed mob vote, right? Um, so there are actually a few underwater mobs that are that have never been implemented or water adjacent. Let's just call them that. So obviously there's the penguin and the crab, which yeah, those two like I would love to see the crab. I would love to see the penguin. Obviously they were mob vote losers, or rather, the crab was a mob vote loser. The penguin was a biome vote loser, I believe. Um,
Mm.
and then there's the barnacle, which is a hostile mob. And it was in now of all of those, I think that the least likely one would be the barnacle, just due to the fact that it's just some it's yeah, it's a weird, it's complicated. It was like it was the first mob vote, so a lot of people assumed that because they said that all of these mobs were never going to happen, they're just yeah, they're never going to happen. So that's personally, I would love to see the barnacle show up again, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. Um, but yeah, crab, penguin. I'm actually gonna look at the penguin really quick because I believe that was a specific thing about the mob vote. Oh no, that was alongside the crab and the armadillo. So that was a mob vote. Sorry, I thought that was a biome vote, but no, it was a mob. Both of those were mob votes. So yeah. I don't know. I like both of these ideas, but I'm not certain what exactly they're going to do with them. Um but yeah, there's a lot of really cool mobs that they just have never implemented. Um and especially with an aquatic update, I would love to see just all sorts of different give us a shit ton of mobs. Like they don't even have to be very different. They could mostly be like fish, and I'd be cool with it. And we've talked a little bit about how personally we would love to see whales,
like sharks.
Sharks, whales,
Whales.
octopi or octopuses. Sorry.
Attaboy.
Yeah. But yeah, I would love to see. I would love to see whales. I would love to see octopuses. I would like to see sharks. I really would, but I really don't think they're gonna add sharks, unfortunately.
which is a major bummer because they could do so much with that.
Yeah, like they've said that they don't want to add hostile mobs that are real creatures, at least in recent years, right? But
Yeah, but sharks, even in real life, are not hostile mobs. A lot of them are just basically water puppies.
exactly. So I don't know. There's a lot that they could do. I think that they should look a little bit more into sharks and be like, okay, which ones can we actually do? Like, I don't think they're gonna add the great white because that one is like has
No.
so much bad press. Um, but like there could be like a whole bunch of different sharks. Like there's like a few like small sharks that like never attack people. Like they might nip you, but that's about it. Um, so I could see like them being neutral mobs. I could see that happening. Like when it comes to when it comes down to sharks, like there are so many. So when it comes to the neutral, there's a lot of neutral mobs that are real monsters or real animals, I should say. Like there's the bee, there's the dolphin, there's the fox, there's the goat, there's the llama, there's the panda, and there's the polar bear, and also wolves. All of these are real mobs that will that are in Minecraft that will attack you if you do something. Very rarely will they attack you, but they will attack you. And to me, that seems like a reasonable thing to do. Is like they're not going to just straight out attack you, but if you do something to piss them off, they will attack you. And I think that they could do the same thing with sharks. Like they're not. I don't think that they would necessarily like put in like some sharks because some of them are like extremely dangerous. Do not get near them. But and you should never. Let's just say this real quick. Never go into shark infested waters ever. Unless you are specifically
There are no
trained.
such thing as shark infested waters. They just fucking live there. If some douchebag walked up into my house wearing a speedo, I'd be pissed off too.
Exactly. Don't go. Yeah, don't go near sharks unless you are trained, and or probably both. Um, you have somebody who is trained and knows exactly how to handle this because they know what they're doing. There are professionals who swim with sharks and actually know what they're doing and have are very safe. They also have extremely good life insurance policies. Because
Yeah.
because there is a good like even with all of their training, there is still a chance that they will die from swimming with sharks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if they do this, if they add sharks at all, it should it's very unlikely, but they should be neutral mobs. And yeah. I don't know. There's a lot with that and it's complicated. uh like I think what we said is like maybe if you go into the water and you're already injured, then sharks will attack you because sharks are drawn to blood. I could see that happening. I could see a few different things. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot with that, and I don't think they're gonna add sharks pretty much ever. But yeah, um, but yeah, why don't you talk about different fish and stuff that you think could be in here? I'm gonna head to the restroom really quick.
I mean, I'd love to see all kinds of things. I'm a big aquatic guy. I love aquatic animals. One of my favorite mobs that already exists is the glow squid, um, and tropical fish and the axolotl. So anything like that would be super good. I would love to see octopuses, specifically the giant Pacific red octopus. I think that's a really good opportunity for them to have another peaceful mob. that just kind of is there, and a different color than the glow squids. There's also the opportunity for things like the Humboldt squid that change color as they glow. I would also say like there's always chances for like the cuttlefish. That'd be super cool. I don't know how they would do the fact that it can change its texture, but I feel like the cuttlefish would be really cool. We talked about sharks. I would love to see sharks. I think that'd be the coolest thing ever. Just because I happen to love sharks. I think whale sharks would be a beautiful, beautiful, peaceful mob. Whale sharks don't have teeth, so they can't eat people or anything. They just eat krill. And then as for mobs that are more like the firefly bush, I think like seahorses would be really cool. I feel like that'd be an easy one to do. And then like I said, krill. And then there's all kinds of stuff they could do that I just would really love to see. As for aquatic mobs, sharks. Oh, the whale shark is probably my first favorite that I would love to see. It would be huge, and then whales in general, whales as well, because again, that'd be a peaceful mob since whales have baleen. As long as you don't do like the uh, orcas, because orcas have teeth and they're quite scary at times. So they would be a neutral mob. But I think there's just so many options for aquatic mobs that no matter what they do, I'll be happy.
Fair. And I'm back. But yeah, so I don't I didn't hear every single one that you said, but I heard krill, I heard whales, whale sharks. Yeah, I agree with that. That would be so cool. But yeah, whales. I would love to see like all the different like a whole bunch of different types of whales. I don't think that they're going to do I don't think they're going to do every single type. But like
Oh no.
there's so many types of whales, and like some of them are very like yeah, like you said, orcas are that just sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. So I don't think they're gonna do orcas. What about sperm whale?
That would be cool. Those are huge.
They are, and like part of me would love to see sperm whales and like giant squid fighting. That would be fucking amazing.
That is a real thing that happens.
It is, and that would be just like, or maybe it wouldn't even be a giant squid. Maybe they would call it a kraken, and and basically they will fight, and like the kraken can be very powerful, and it might be like I don't know, maybe a freaking I don't know, so some really cool mob. um there's a lot with it. But there's been a few.
Giant squid slash kraken could be a really cool mob.
It really could be.
One of the things I said was the cuttlefish. That was one of the ones that I really liked.
Ooh, that would be fun.
I also mentioned the Humboldt squid because it changes color when it glows. It communicates exclusively through flashing different colors.
Nice.
So that's really cool.
Oh, it sounds so fun. It really, really does. Another thing that so I also think there's a good chance that we're going to be seeing a Nautilus.
Ooh.
That's a lot of people are thinking that that's going to be a thing because there are Nautilus shells in the game already. They currently just drop from certain drowned who are holding them. But yeah, you can basically that's how you get Nautilus shells, which is annoying because it's really freaking hard to get them. But yeah, you could we could do some we could get a Nautilus in there. And if they do that, I really hope that they also give a new use to not only Nautilus shells, but also to the Heart of the Sea, which is so hard. I shouldn't say it's hard to find. It's fairly easy. Pretty much every time that you find a buried treasure chest, you're going to find a Heart of the Sea.
Fair. Yeah.
But with that, I would like to see a Heart of the Sea actually be something that you could find. Um, it would be a lot of fun to just more uses for the Heart of the Sea. Maybe it could be like a special armor that you can craft with Nautilus shells and prismarine and yeah, basically all of the different materials that you would use in with like I said, with prismarine, Nautilus shells, and a Heart of the Sea. You can craft an armor piece, a type of armor that will allow you to breathe underwater no matter how far out you are. So like you can set up a an actual not a specific spot, and you're able to use that as like this is your main base of operations near water, in water. I'm forgetting what the name of it is. Conduit. But yeah, the conduit, and you're able to get this conduit or whatever, and it will allow you to. So obviously, around the area that you have it set up, you'll be able to breathe underwater. Great, sounds fantastic. But if you have an actual if you find if you get this armor, which might require way more work to get it, you're able to go underwater for a much longer period of time, and you're able to move around. But it comes at the disadvantage of it's a much weaker set of armor. It's not going to be as strong as gold. It's not going to be, it's not going to be as strong as diamond. It's not going to be as strong as netherite. It's going to be like, at most, I could see it being about the same level as iron. I don't see it being that much though. Like, I would say probably copper. Copper armor would probably be the closest thing to what it would be. But like I said, it would be that would be how it starts off. I'm not like I said, I'm not 100% certain on how exactly we would play with that. But yeah, so this should be starting soon, or at least there was supposed to be the pre-show at 9:30. Let's see if this restart, if there's anything here. Yeah, doesn't appear to be. Let's see, maybe on videos. Nope. Shorts. Nope. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering things, but I'm pretty sure that Minecraft Live is supposed to be. It should be starting soon when it comes to like the pre-show. Because yeah, it did go for quite a while. I don't know. So wait, how long was the proof? Huh. So let's see here. Well, these are short. Okay. So 2023 was long. It was about an hour long. 2024 was about half an hour, and the one that was earlier this year was about half an hour. It looks like, if I'm reading this correctly. So this is probably also going to be about half an hour, but that might be like cutting certain bits down, because I think these earlier ones, I think they specifically showed the after show, and they cut off the after show So the these so 2023, and I think some of these older ones, they included the after show and the pre-show. So I'm not sure, but supposedly it's I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye out for that. We should hear sound coming from this before too long, which is good. So another thing that I would like to that I kind of want to think about is a possibility of an aquatic redstone. So basically, it won't be destroyed by flowing water. It won't be destroyed by just being underwater. Because at this point in time, if you want to have a circuit underwater, you better protect that thing with all surround it with blocks, or instead of using redstone, use redstone itself. You have to use observers. So I think that if this is going to be another aquatic update, they need to add a aquatic redstone. How exactly that would work, I have no idea. Like I don't know. I think it should be fairly easy to gain aquatic redstone. And then you could also use it for like an aquatic redstone torch, an aquatic repeaters and comparators and all that jazz. Do we have a list of the blocks? I don't remember. There's a lot of redstone blocks. Redstone components. This is what I want to see. Okay. So yeah. So we let's see here. So buttons get washed away by water. Levers get washed away by water. Obviously, redstone and the comparators and whatchamadoodles. I think pressure plates are good. They don't get washed away by water. Torches, yeah. Tripwire stuff gets affected by water. Yeah, repeaters, comparators. So yeah, I would like to see some. So yeah, I know that a lot of people have struggled when it comes to aquatic redstone, including myself. So I would like to see something that would allow for a bit more use when it comes to aquatic redstone. What do you think?
I have never really used redstone,
Fair enough.
so I don't have many thoughts on it, frankly.
Fair enough. So another thing that people have like theorized about is an aquatic village or pirates.
That would be cool.
Personally, I don't think that it's going to be something that's going to be underwater that you will be able to interact with mob. I don't think you'll be able to interact with mobs under the water. At least yet, I don't see that happening. I would honestly, I would see goblins or dwarves happening before we see where it's an underground type village. Where like I said, dwarves or goblins would be more likely to me than an aquatic village anytime soon. So yeah.
Fair.
So there's also some. Speaking of, there are some mentioned mobs that are aquatic, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on whether or not you think we could see these. So first off, semi-aquatic beavers. Do you think we could see those happening? Same thing goes for snails.
That would be really cool.
Like either one of them.
Either one of them.
Yeah. Like obviously beavers would be mostly they would spawn in rivers, and like there would probably be a structure that they would have, which would be called probably be the Beaver's Dam or something like that, and they would mostly spawn around those, but they could spawn elsewhere, and maybe they'll just randomly strip bark off of trees. So if you go near a river, you might just find like maybe like the first 2 blocks of a tree is stripped, and that's like your sign that beavers are nearby. There could also the snail. I'm not really certain what they would do with this with a snail, but apparently they've talked about it. Glowworms are semi-aquatic, aren't they? Or am I misremembering? That might just be a.
It depends on the worm.
Yeah. So, like, part of me wonder. So apparently, glowworms have been mentioned at some point, but they've never done anything with them. So, I don't know. Part of me would like to see what they would do with those, but I don't think that they're going to happen anytime soon. Specifically, I don't know. The thing is, like, there's so many mobs and just features in general when it comes to Minecraft that they've kind of been hinting at for a while, but they haven't really done much with it. Like, the end feels very barren, and they've, like, talked about the end extensively, but they've also said that they want to update the entire overworld before they update the end. Before they update the end again. Obviously, there's a shit ton of of mobs, all of the unimplemented mobs. Yeah, let's see. There's the barnacle, the crab, the glare, the isolager, the meerkat, the moobloom, the ostrich, the penguin, the rascal, termites, the great hunger, tough golem, vulture, wildfire. Like, that's 14 unimplemented mobs that have come from mob votes, and we just haven't seen them. Granted, there are like a few other mobs that as well, such as like the Shade and the Red Dragon, which, from what I understand, the Shade was basically another name that they were thinking about for the Warden. So that's out of there. At one point, they were talking about Red Dragons. Would I love to see them? Abso-fucking-lutely, I would love to see more dragons. Doesn't matter what type they are. I would love to see them. But yeah,
Dragons would be cool.
they really would. And like, that's just the unimplemented mobs. Those are the mobs that have they didn't get a anything when it came to the mob. They had a mob vote. We saw them, and we just haven't seen anything from them for a while. Obviously, there was the alpaca, the firefly. Those two we'll probably never see. Same goes for the Shade, because the firefly has the firefly bush. The alpaca is now the llama. It was basically a choice between like what was going to be the name for that. And the Shade was one of the name possibilities for the Warden. But then when it comes to like mentioned mobs, there's the beaver, the glowworm, the goblin, lava zombie, musician, soulfire blaze, snail, and troll. And I could see all of those happening. Okay, I'm gonna turn this down a tiny bit. But we finally got Minecraft Live going. Do you have it open or?